started, I actually am at a hotel. I have a governmental affairs meeting for MNAR coming up here in a bit, so it'll be a little shorter meeting, but I just want to go through some important things that are coming up. I'm just going to point out that we have an RPAC summary as our first option here. So our RPAC numbers are about the same as we looked at last month. We have a new goal that was set by the state association, so you'll see that right here. And then based on that goal, and there's also a participation goal that you'll see right here of 195 members. So based on that participation goal, we are at our goal for the year. So that's something that we can set a new goal. We'll try to do that next month before we're talking about doing some calling too. So we'll try to do that next month before the calling for sure. So down here we have a number of individuals donated so far, 120. And the dollar amount of the donations is $94.60. And then with all the pledges, so people that have pledged but haven't put in all their money, we have $97.10. Okay, I see that we have some. Okay. And then, so we're about almost $1,000 over our goal, so that's awesome. And then we need to meet our goal for participation, we need about 75 more individuals contributing to meet that goal. So that's something we'll look at later as well. All right, I'm just going to scroll down to the next page here. Okay, another thing that we had talked about is moving up those individuals that contributed under the member level, so they contributed less than $50 to the PAC. So I had a list of individuals here, and just a calculation of how much that would increase our goal. So by getting each of these individuals to move up to the $50 level, we would increase our contributions by $555. So kind of a fun number as well. So here we go. And do let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to answer those here. And you can also, if you want to speak your questions, you can also unmute yourself. Okay. All right, moving down here. Just a little bit about fundraising. MNAR has sent out a survey to all members. You may have seen that. So that survey just is asking a couple questions to get a better idea of how much the membership knows about the PAC and that type of thing. So there's some survey results that we'll be getting, and then Jeff had suggested that we do a $1,000 campaign. So I guess just keep that in mind in the next couple months that we're going to be doing that campaign. So if you're able to join us, that would be fantastic. I don't have dates at this point, but we'll let you know once we have a date set. And then also just to bring up, continue to brainstorm members to ask. So if you have anybody that has not contributed at this point, but you think that they would be willing to contribute, go ahead and let us know, and we'll kind of designate a person that knows that individual to talk to them about the PAC as well. All right. The next thing that I have on the list is an update of MNAR. We do have a Governmental Affairs Committee meeting today, so there's a couple things that we'll be discussing at this meeting, but there's a couple issues that we have been watching in the governor's budget. Right now there is a provision in there for Vulnerable and Older Adult Financial Abuse Protection Act. And within that, it would have requirements for commerce regulated department, so anyone that's licensed through commerce to take education to learn about signs of financial exploitation of vulnerable and older adults, and then they would also face an extra penalty if it is found that there's any abuse of this. So, Carrie, do you have anything to add to that one from what you've seen at the Capitol?
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me, Marissa?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think you'll learn more about this today at your governmental affairs meeting. I think it's something we really need to keep an eye on, because what the governor says is if we suspect, and I don't know how we are supposed to suspect, but if we do suspect and we don't report, we could have a $5,000 fine. And
right.
Also, we would be open to the senior citizen coming at us with civil action if they thought that we should have known that they were being financially, there was some fraud. And so it really gives us a high level of responsibility for fraud, and I don't know that we have the ability to meet that or should have that onus on us. And it also gives us another required commerce course that we would have to take in education. So I think it's something that we really need to watch. I was able to get the Commerce Department to go on record saying that yes, it indeed involves real estate, because before they were saying it was just financial institutions, but being we're under the purview of the Commerce Department, it does include us also. So I think the lobbyists were in committee this past week, so they will be able to tell you more at your meeting, Marissa. And I think it's something we really have to keep an eye on and make sure that it does not happen.
Yes, yes, and I will. After the meeting today, I'll write something up and send it out to you guys, just based on what we discussed at the governmental affairs meeting today regarding this.
Great.
And Terry, is there any indication of when the actual billing goes?
No, we haven't given that. We just had an overview in committee of the governor's recommendation. I think it came to a surprise to all of us because he has not worked with anybody in our industry on this issue. So it came as when it came out, we were all rather surprised. Usually we have like a working group that would work on this idea or how would it work. And so we are all kind of caught off guard that it was in the governor's budget. But we have not seen that bill come forward, nor do we have a number yet.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the update. That was wonderful. And well, the MNAR is keeping a very, very close eye on this.
They did a good job on this, yes. They were in my office right away, so that's good.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah. There's a couple other things that they're keeping an eye on. The Department of Health has a Radon Licensing Act that they're watching, and this would basically require anyone that does radon mitigation to obtain a license through the state, just because of some problems that have been happening with the mitigation systems being put in and not being put in correctly, and so just to kind of manage that. So that's something that MNAR is watching as well to see what happens with that bill. And then they also are watching Pollution Control Agency Superfund Vapor Intrusion Sellers Disclosure Initiative. So basically what this is they would have a special disclosure statement on the seller's disclosure telling if this is a Superfund site or there's vapor intrusion on the site that either has been mitigated or has to be mitigated. The Superfund sites, that it wouldn't be a cost to the seller or the buyer to do any of the mitigation systems that is actually, those funds have been set up already, so that would be covered, but just disclosing whether that that site is a Superfund or not. I believe we have a Burlington Northern one in Brainerd, so that would have an effect on our area as well. So they're just watching to see when that disclosure language comes out. The two more things that I want to bring up. So they are also looking at, Senator Gazelka has a bill modifying regulations of interactive internet continuing education courses. And I kind of want to get your opinion on what you think about this. Should bring back to the meeting today, but this would basically take away the seat time requirements for online classes. So, so you'd still have to take a test at the end, but you could go through the material on your own time and then take that test at the end once you're done. Let's have a little discussion about this if you want to. If you're having trouble pulling yourself off mute, just raise your hand and I can pull you out so you can talk.
I think it's a good idea. We have the education, and a lot of us take it online, and typically you read through the material. Everyone reads at a different pace, and so if you come to the end and you just have to watch the timer and keep clicking so your computer doesn't shut off, it really doesn't enhance your education experience. And if you pass the test, I think you should be able to. To me, if you pass the test, then you've kind of absorbed what the education that you needed to take. So the seat time timer really doesn't, I think, do our industry any good.
Anyone else have anything to add? Okay. This is one thing that we're going to, like I said, talk about at the Governmental Affairs Committee for the state level today as well. Another thing that we're watching is there's a couple of bills and a half for fire sprinklers requiring safety protection notices regarding residential fire sprinklers, and then requiring disclosure regarding compliance with fire sprinklers. So those we're watching as well. And then there's also, we're also still working with the builders to see if we could overturn the implementation of the 4,500 square foot requirement for the fire sprinklers as well. So we're looking at that at the meeting today as well.
Yeah, I'll just comment on that. When we had breakfast with the governor 2 weeks ago, and that was one of the things we wanted to talk to him about, to see, because he's vetoed that bill and several times, and so to try to make him understanding that the implementation is really causing a big headache, ripple effect throughout the state. So he promised to try to meet with the builders and the fire chiefs and see if they couldn't work out something on implementation. But he is really stuck on that bill, and he doesn't understand. I don't think he has a grasp of the 4,500 square feet with, that it includes the basement, and then most of us that are in wells and septics, it just creates a myriad of problems. So he said that he would put a meeting together, but I don't see him budgeting too much on that issue. But I think it's still worth us pushing, because it's going to hamper our building.
Right, and the fear that once we start, at 4,500 square feet, that going down to a smaller square footage is also something that we'll be watching very, very closely.
Yeah.
All right. The last thing, I just have one more thing that I want to bring up. Just the Realtor Action Center app. If we do decide to do a call for action for anything coming up, it's very important that you guys are able to get that really quickly, read over it, and send notices to your legislators about the bills that may affect our industry. So the Realtor Action Center has an app, and that app can be used by the National Association as well as the state associations for calls for action. So I just put a link on the page, and you got that within your packet as well, to the Realtor Action Center app. So go ahead and click on that and take a look. And then I just want to open it up. If anybody has anything going on in their area that you want me to keep an eye on or look at, please just let me know. You can bring it up to the group now if you'd like. Otherwise, you can send me an email as well. So anything happening around the area that you want to point out?
Not that I know of, but I would really like you to relay to the MAR group today that I really appreciate this new working relationship that we have. They were in my office right away when they found out about the governor's piece in there about the senior citizens, and so I think we've and through your push, I think you've done a great job, and we have a great working relationship now. And I just want to thank to GLAR because they're really responsible for this new working relationship. So please relay to them that I really like all the help and what they're doing.
Wonderful. Thank you. I will, Carrie. Thank you. All right. Well, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'm gonna close the call here. But I'll be in meetings today, and then I can get you an update once we're done with the meetings on what we talked about today at the Governmental Affairs and where we're at with some of the bills. So, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks.